Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason,
Hey, this is Alex.
and we are Good Morning Games. So today we're going to talk about a little bit about Nintendo Switch Online. There's been some rumors going around and some hype around some sort of big update coming to the online service, probably around like the first half of April. Obviously, we don't know too much about this, but just the fact of that being a possibility, we thought we would kind of put together a little podcast of us just talking about the Nintendo Switch online service and what we think about it, where it could go, and maybe some new services and what we hate about it.
So there's been a little bit of smoke, I should say a lot of smoke around potential Nintendo Switch Online update hitting the Switch in like early April, so within the next couple of weeks here. And we're hearing like new services, new software, a lot of maybe games being added. Personally, I just would love to see it work properly. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to see like like be able to play Super Smash Brothers Ultimate online without constant lag issues.
Yeah.
And you know, the Mario 35th anniversary is wrapping up at the end of March, so here in a couple days, and I think they're just waiting for that to wrap up, and then the timing could be right, first week of April, maybe second week of April, to announce some new stuff to get people excited.
Yeah. And you know, this could be completely wrong, but with the timing of that, it just kind of feels like, everyone kind of thought it was weird that they were doing this 3D All Stars was available and Mario 35 was available till the end of March and then it was just gone. And everyone thought that was weird.
Yeah,
Now, that could still be the case and we'll never get any of that again. It's definitely possible, but it's also possible that maybe those, a lot of people have said maybe those games from 3D All Stars are going to be going up, individually for $20 or something like that. So I think it makes sense to at least talk about the online services in April. So I guess to start, is there any ideas that you have? We can kind of go back and forth about maybe things that could be changed to the online service.
for sure. Yeah, like I said, just more reliable infrastructure for the service in general, so that matchmaking for games is more reliable. I mean, it would make me want to play things like Smash, Mario Maker 2 online. It would just make me want to play those games way more if I knew that when I sat down to play, that the online service was going to work. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like, nothing's more frustrating than like sitting down, getting one or two good matches in, and then the third one it just sucks. And you're like,
yeah,
why am I playing this? Like, what is this? Somehow it works great in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I still have I don't understand how that works, but they have one game where it works really well, and then several games where it is average at best. So just a general infrastructure boost. And I have read some things that Nintendo is completely overhauling their online infrastructure. I don't know. I'm not a tech, like, super tech head, so I don't
yeah.
know the terminology, but apparently the platform they've been using is at least 20 years old. So they're replacing the whole thing, which
Oh,
should
well.
result in more reliable online. And I think Monster Hunter Rise is the first game to use the new tech, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So we're off and running
Yeah, I
with
kind
it.
of remember hearing about that.
Yeah, sorry, I don't remember any of the little three-letter acronyms for the new stuff,
Yeah,
but it's just trust me, it's out there.
yeah. Google it.
Yeah,
Um,
just go and Google it.
yeah, so I wrote down a few things that I was thinking about that could probably be changed. For one, I'm kind of surprised they haven't added achievements. Um,
Yeah,
Now, that's in obviously Xbox and PlayStation online services. Now that obviously requires more work for Nintendo, which is something they don't always like to do. If it's like it's not necessarily part of the game, that them adding new thing, like making achievements in itself instead of putting it in the game. That just seems like something, even though it's so normal, it seems to me like something they just wouldn't do. I don't know why. So, but you never know. That'd be cool. Um, I have also it's pretty insane to me that we still have to use the like friend codes when
Oh
you're
my god.
at, it's like
Yeah.
I feel like you can put like, why can't you just put in someone's name and it brings up the other people that are, people that are named like that, or it doesn't like, even if there's an option of 10 people you have to look from, you'll know who it is. I don't know. And
Hmm.
I don't know. It just seems like their friend codes are so complicated. I don't get that.
It's like supremely antiquated. And
Yeah.
just having to go through that for anything in 2021 is, I mean, I was surprised that they even came over to Switch from Wii U 4 years ago. Like I thought friend codes
Yeah.
were gone, and they were
Yeah,
not,
for sure.
unfortunately. But it should be pretty easy to just pull up your friends menu, see recent players or something like that, send friend requests, see what games people are playing, click a join button if they have that feature enabled to like just jump in with them. General like
Yeah.
quality of life improvements that PSN and Xbox Live have had since like PS3 360 days.
Yeah, and to go off of that, I mean, probably the main thing that everyone would probably agree with is, how the hell is there not just normal voice chat and we still have to use the app? Nobody's using the app.
Yeah. I don't know. If you're using the app, send us send us an email and just tell us why you're using it, and maybe try to
Yeah.
convince us it's a good idea.
Yeah, or just send us an email just so we know there's one person out there using it.
Yeah.
That'd be good too. So yeah, I that doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. Maybe that has something to do with the infrastructure they were using, but to be honest, I feel like even 20 years ago they had voice chat in like Xbox. I don't know.
Yeah. They did. They had it on original Xbox. I played Halo 2
Yeah.
with voice chat online.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whenever that was, 2005, 4.
Yeah. I
Close
remember
to 20
swearing
years
at my
ago.
friends. Um,
I never did that.
yeah.
So I think as far as like new services, did you want to jump into new services we want to see on it?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Yeah, I think so right now I mean you get the ability to play online, you get NES, SNES online, you get cloud saves. Pretty standard features, but I think a lot of people want some new services such as N64 or Game Boy games coming to the NSO service. I a lot of this, like the smoke and rumors we've been seeing, have pointed towards a lot of new software being uploaded to the service, and potentially being something along the lines of Nintendo's answer to Game Pass, which would be incredible. It's like a really smart way for them to use their legacy content and
Yeah.
make a shitload of it available to everyone all at once, rather than have like a leaky faucet of old games coming out, like dripping out like it was on the Wii U Virtual Console.
Yeah, it's and that makes sense from, I think that makes sense from like a consumer standpoint and from their standpoint, because with them doing the NES and SNES and kind of drip feeding those, it's not like they're going to be making a ton of money off of some of those anyways. So but once I think it starts to get to it, an N64 or a GameCube, they probably don't really, I could see why they don't want to just release those for free
Yeah.
to people paying,
Yeah.
you're paying like $20 a month, so I could see them wanting, saying, okay, well, if you want to have a service like a Game Pass, you pay more now. It's more than $20 a year. I mean, not $20. I said $20 a month. It's $20 a year right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
$20 a year.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, so I could see them increasing that, but then you're getting, N64 or GameCube, and I would be very okay with that.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of expect to pay 50, $60 a year for a console's online service.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the Switch is only $20 right now is great, because it is kind of bare bones. But yeah, if they were to throw up like, if they just said like nearly the entire NES library and Super NES libraries are now on there without even adding new consoles, I'd be like, sweet, you could charge me more for that. That's fine. But if they were to add
Yeah.
Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, and like N64, whatever, and then they jump the price up to $50 a year, that I would pay it. I would absolutely pay it. I think a lot of people would
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and I did kind of think with like the SNES, it seems like they're starting to like the games that are being drip fed out with that. This is just kind of a I'm just thought came to my head is like it seems like the well of SNES games that they're releasing, they're getting like worse and worse, but there's still so many that they have like that the SNES Mini or that like has so many great
Yeah,
ones that aren't on the online service, which I don't get. Like even like Final Fantasy VI or like uh Super Mario
Mario
RPG.
RPG.
It's like they
Where's
have
it
to have
at?
maybe my original thought would have been oh, maybe they, there's some sort of issue with like the rights. But if they had it on the mini, then I don't get it
Yeah, no, I
because
don't
that wasn't that
understand.
long ago.
They did finally get Donkey Kong Country 3 out like a month ago.
Oh
That
yeah,
made me really happy. But
yeah,
yeah, there's still so much missing.
yeah.
I think with the new TMNT game coming out, Shredder's Revenge,
Oh yeah, that looks good.
um, that'd be sweet if they did Turtles in Time on the Switch Online,
Yeah,
just to get people back in the mood for the new
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, those two. Yeah, there was like there's so many games they've missed that they just hasn't came.
Chrono Trigger would be great. Earthworm Jim.
Yeah,
There's a whole bunch. I mean,
yeah,
I know those aren't Nintendo games, but
yeah, but
there's plenty missing.
yeah. Um. So yeah, I think the most likely if we were to get some new services, I think most people agree it's N64 or GBA. I think those are the most likely, but I could the
If they
fact that they
start, sorry, if they start with just regular Game Boy, black and white Game Boy, and only do, they're like, we're adding Game Boy, and it's 10 black and white Game Boy games, I'm just gonna lose it. Like,
snap the switch in half.
yeah, like that's it.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know what it was, but didn't they for the 3D All Stars? Wasn't there some sort of it wasn't just like emulated. Like there was something that they had to. I don't remember the details exactly, and again, we're both not super techie, but there was some sort of like the way it was made wasn't just a straight port. They had like there was some coding in it that like lent itself to okay, this is gonna happen with other N64 games possibly or other GameCube games. Which I mean, I think pretty much
Sorry, for
any
which game are you talking about?
with the 3D All Stars, like
Oh, 3 All
I remember
Stars.
there was
Yeah.
there was some like um there was some technical aspect of it which I'm not smart enough to fully understand, but it wasn't just a straight port. There was like some sort of like underlying coding in it or something that like oh they wouldn't have done this without like the intent of using it for other games in on this console, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like we're gonna bring some other N64 stuff,
Yeah,
and it'll look all clean and up-res like
exactly.
Mario
Yeah,
64 does.
yeah. So yeah, I mean I
If
can go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, you go ahead.
No, I don't have any more good points.
Okay, great. I was just gonna say, if the N64 does pop up on the Switch Online service, I wrote down what I think would be a pretty great starting 10 games to for them to drop first, because I don't think they're gonna be like, here's all of N64. I think
Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
be here's 10, here's 15, whatever. Pretty good bet for this. I think Super Mario 64, obviously, Mario Kart 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Paper Mario, Smash Brothers, and then after that, it gets a little dicey. But I think probably Mario Golf, hopefully Wave Race 64. Would love Diddy Kong Racing and Banjo Kazooie, but then there's also stuff like Yoshi's Story, Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium. But that group of games, I think, is what we would see in an initial launch. Maybe Donkey Kong 64. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And with like, yeah, you said Pokemon Snap. I mean, that would make sense with the new one coming out. you might want people to play.
That would be amazing if they just dropped it on the Switch 3 weeks before new Pokemon Snap came out.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I wrote down some too, and you pretty much said all the ones I said. I mean, 1080 snowboarding, Wave Race
1080,
64, and then I wrote down, even though from what I understand, these probably wouldn't be possible. GoldenEye. I know that there's some legal issues with that. There's like a reason that's never been like put out anywhere, and same with Perfect Dark is rare. I believe so, but yeah, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah, maybe Mario Tennis, the N64 one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey You Pikachu with a microphone attachment.
I didn't play that.
No, me neither.
I also think another possibility that they could do is if they wanted to go the route of PSN stuff, Xbox having just free like monthly games, and those could be more like Wii or GameCube or something like that, where every month you can download like 2, and if you download them in that month, you can keep them. If you don't, they're gone.
That would be incredible. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Nintendo's the only one who doesn't do that, and I mean, yeah, I could see them even some Switch games at this point, like older ones, like like an ARMS or something like that. That's probably not selling as much anymore. Just
1-2 Switch.
Yeah, stuff like that. Offering just 1 or 2 of those a month. They don't need to be like the top notch games. But I think that's a service that they don't offer. I also have on here, even though this kind of goes against everything that we've said and our ideas so far, I would be more than happy with them just bringing back the virtual console up through the Switch. I mean, if we got to pay for everything, I'm just saying, I would be very fine if I had to pay for everything, as long as it was the entire library of everything from NES to the Switch.
Yeah,
I would be fine with that.
I'd be like, this is weird, but okay, let's
yeah,
go.
I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Start buying everything. Just upload my credit card and be like, whatever, just keep a running tab going.
yeah. I'm not expecting that, but that would be fine. I also wrote down if they did do GBA, there's Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, there's WarioWare, Mario and Luigi Superstar, Castlevania, there's Metroid Fusion and Minish Cap. Those are all on GBA. Those would be amazing.
I missed out on those games. Yeah. I for some reason sold my GBA or quit playing it before Metroid Fusion and Minish Cap came out, and I completely missed out on games like that. So if they were to pop up on Switch, that would be great. I think there's a lot of people that missed out on that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
Minish Cap
would be really
good.
cool to access that.
Yeah.
Oh, Minish did you play it?
Yeah. I played it somewhat recently. Not like I feel like I'm old now, so it seems recently, but it was probably like 7 years ago. But but I remember I really, really liked it. It was one of the better handheld. It was unique. You shrunk down to the side. Like the power was that you would shrink down, and then it was just really cool because you would like go into a forest that you had been in before, but now it's like huge. Everything around you is huge, and like the bugs were like the enemies and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were to do a Game Pass type service, I think we would probably see a switch to a monthly fee option. Because I mean, I guess they do. Don't they have like a $4 a month option right now?
Yeah, I don't know what the pricing is,
but most people just do the
really
20.
Cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, they might try to push heavier for a monthly service, and then throw up Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and 64. I don't think we would see DS or 3DS on there. I don't know how they could do that, really. It would take a lot of retooling of like game code, I think, to get that to run on Switch, which probably wouldn't do for this type of thing. But
yeah, so it's $3.99 right now per month. So it's like if you had way more, so if you had all these services like GBA, N64, GameCube, you can charge $10 a month. I would pay that.
Yeah, yeah, I would pay it.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's 120 a year for Game Boy service.
I would still pay it. I mean, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Even if not that far, even if they just doubled it and it was like $7.99, I mean, like you're doubling your money, and it's for all legacy content that you don't probably have to do that much for.
Yeah, if there's some way they could just drag and drop game, like they have a folder. Some interns Windows PC in the Nintendo office has a folder that says Game Boy, and they just drag and drop it to a folder that says Switch Online.
Yeah.
And then charge.
Genius.
Charge whatever.
Yeah, doubled our profit.
He's been promoted to executive.
Yeah, intern Rick.
Yeah.
Whoops,
Amazing.
I dragged it into the wrong folder. Rick.
I think this could also be leveraged for like Zelda 35 being part of this, with Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask hitting on Switch, and potentially some of the handheld ones, Minish Cap, Oracle of Seasons, and Oracle of Ages. Maybe the original Link's Awakening could be on there. There's plenty of stuff they could do to help promote this, Zelda 35th anniversary that, again, Nintendo has not said a peep about it, but literally every game reporter, journalist, and message board is like flooded with endless content and posts about it.
Yeah, and like that almost, it like confuses me more, because I completely agree with you. I think this would be the perfect time to be like, and we're going to start off the 35th anniversary of Zelda with Ocarina and Majora on, our new service. But then it's like, okay, what else are you guys going to do? Like, I don't know. It seems like, how can you do that without, I mean, I guess they could say that and then just be like, and we'll talk about more later this year, which I guess they've done that plenty, so I could see that. But it also seems like, wouldn't you want to do like a huge blowout with everything at once? But you never know with them.
Yeah. People seem to be split on this. I don't think it needs to start with the Skyward Sword HD release just because that's the first thing they announced. They can still announce N64 and Game Boy Zelda games dropping like 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time. So if they were to announce in early April, have them drop in May, or even end of April, like they can do that no problem, and it could start the Zelda 35 celebration.
Yeah, so I think that what most people are assuming, and I mean I would say I'm probably the same way, and us just talking about this is making me think about it differently, but I think what people are assuming is that because Eiji Aonuma said, you'll hear about Breath of the Wild later, I think people are assuming they're going to do the same thing they did with the Mario 35th, and they're going to have one big direct that's Zelda, and in that, they're going to say everything they're doing for it. And so because of that, people are saying, they're not going to want to do that right before, like June or July before Skyward Sword, because if they announce Breath of the Wild 2 is coming at the end of the year, then some people will just be like, let's like hold off on Skyward Sword, and I'll get Breath of the Wild 2 at the end of the year. But like you just said, like maybe they won't. Maybe they won't even do a 35th Zelda Direct. Maybe they'll just drip feed things throughout. The first thing they do could say Ocarina and Majora are coming, and that's just the start of the celebration of the 35th. And then like in the next Direct, they say something else. Like they could easily do that and not even have a Zelda Direct.
Or the Zelda Direct could just be Breath of the Wild 2. Like, and that would be great.
Yes.
That game's been in the making for over, allegedly, like 4 years now. So everyone expects it to be amazing. I feel like it would deserve its own full 30, 40-minute direct, and I would be totally fine with that.
Yeah, definitely. The only other thing I have, which this is more so, I don't know if this would be considered on the online service or more so just like, I don't know, the eShop, I guess, but it has to do with online, is I would like them to add more like ratings and reviews for games. you don't need to add reviews because people then get nasty or something and they don't want that on Nintendo. But I think just doing ratings, like I don't see the harm in that. I know that other like Xbox and PlayStation have that where there's at least out of 5 stars people can rate it. That would help me a lot with games, so that I don't buy trash.
Do you remember that they did have that? They had it for like they had it for like a month.
Oh, I didn't know that. No,
you could do user reviews of games. It was like 2018. I'm like 90% sure I didn't dream this, but trying to Google it real quick. But you could review games on Switch Online for like a couple weeks or 3 or 4 weeks, and then they were like, they took it down and said we're reviewing this service for future use or some corporate response like that, and then they never put it back up. But they did have it for a very short amount of time, and I think they're worried about people like review bombing their games, like ganging up on
does happen
Reddit
more. Yeah, it does happen more nowadays than it used to ever happen because there's just such everyone online is like gangs up and says, "Oh, let's on Reddit,
let's get it." Yeah.
So I mean that is true. It definitely happens more today than it would have in the past. I also think this is not really online, but I would like more demos. And that could be something with online. Just there's not enough demos, and like demos really help me get a game, even if it's just a shorter one. If I am on the what's the word? If I'm on like undecided, I guess usually that'll put me over the edge if I like the demo.
On the fence.
There you go. That's the phrase.
Okay, yeah, it was on. Sorry, just going back. It was on the eShop. I didn't say the word eShop, so it wasn't on like Switch Online. But yeah, you could review games on the eShop, and then they got rid of that. But
got it.
Yeah. Sorry to jump around.
Yeah, it's all right. Anything else you got?
For the Switch Online, I mean, I would love to see them get rid of the app and stop trying to force it.
Yeah.
Like just leave it, just let it be. You don't even have to delete it, but you could say you're not going to update it anymore so the people who do use it can continue to use it if that's what they like, and then everyone knows that they like just admit it was a mistake. It's fine. Everyone makes mistakes. Just say, all right, big swing and a miss, and we're going to figure something else out. And
Whenever I think about that app and like the voice chat with it, it's like there has to be something that we don't know. There has to be some reason that they did that, because it's so weird that like there has to be some like technical reason why, like, they couldn't get around something. I don't know. It seems weird to me. I just don't know who came up with that and how people agreed to that at the company.
The memes were like that showed an iPhone like with all the or a Switch controller with all the plugs coming out of it like into an iPhone, but like the amount of cords running was just unbelievable. The fact that somebody at Nintendo saw that and was like, that's it, that's what we want. That's just kind of mind-blowing. Probably was the cheapest option though, to just develop an app rather than do it in the Switch.
It was it was probably money. It's usually the answer.
Probably money. Other stuff for Switch Online, if they were to add themes as part of the online service, that would be incredible. I know I can remember listening to some of the bigger game podcasts around the launch of the Switch, and like noted game journalists, I'm not mentioning any names, but they would say this Switch user interface is clearly just a placeholder that they slapped on here because they're still prepping the real thing, because this thing's so bare bones, there's no way it's the real UI. And that was wrong. So it's clear that they value like the snappiness, the responsiveness of the user interface as it is over features that could use up RAM to slow everything down. But just adding something like add red and blue for themes.
Doesn't need to be much. Yeah, you
Anything
can't
like
even do
that.
colors.
Yeah.
Just give me the
Red or
colors.
blue.
Give me the colors of the rainbow, and I'll be impressed.
Yeah.
It doesn't take
Silver.
much.
How about?
Yeah.
Charge $2 for it.
Yeah.
Silver theme. Um, Stuff like that would be great. And then I think obviously there's been tons of rumors about the Switch Pro or Super Switch coming out, beefing up the online system to launch alongside the new Switch Pro is just, I mean, seems like common sense. Seems like a really good move to do to get people all hyped up about Switch again for, you know, more than one reason. Just
Yeah.
throw everything at it, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, even if I this is not realistic, but I mean, even if they took some of those, like we just said, if they had like a Game Pass type service and then they made some of those up-resed, that could be huge for when that comes out.
4K
Yeah.
NES games.
Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah.
That'd be great.
4K Paperboy.
4K paper, 4K Super Mario Land 2 6 golden coins.
Would be
Yellow
amazing.
and black edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what, you know, that about covers it for Switch Online. And you know, it is Nintendo, so we could get it something else entirely that we're not expecting, and but then end up realizing it's something we need.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully in the next
Yeah.
coming weeks here.
Yeah. You want to answer some questions that we got?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so if you do want us to answer any questions you got, feel free to email us at goodmorninggamespodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at gmgamespodcast. First question is coming in from Sully, and it says, in your opinion, do you think Halo Infinite is going to bring the series back to prominence, or will it be middle of the road / lackluster? The delayed launch date and problems in production has me thinking it's going to be more of the latter. Story seems cool, but doesn't seem they are providing a big enough spark to put it back to the relevance they had in the Halo 2/3 days.
I would say I personally don't see it ever going back to that height. Just because that was like the first FPS that was just, I mean, GoldenEye really was, but that was just like the first where like online it was kind of at the time when online was taking over. It was this new thing, and it was just kind of like, it just was insane how big that was. So I don't necessarily see that, but I don't see why it can't be huge as long as it's not, at least now they're taking their time. Even though that was really soul crushing, to delay it. I mean, at least hopefully I would think the fact that they did this means that it's not going to come out till it's ready. So I mean, if it's good, I like the open world idea that they kind of talked about for this single player. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think the open world, changing it to a like pseudo open world Halo, is going to make, you know, breathe some new life into it. I actually thought the video they showed off last summer looked pretty cool. It wasn't like a graphical masterpiece by any means, and so I understand why people were upset about it, but it looked like a cool Halo game. Looked like a lot of fun with like some of the new weapons and gear Master Chief was using. I agree though. I don't think it's ever going to go back to the Halo 2 or 3 days, because I think there's too many. Might sound dumb, but I feel like there's too many options now. Like the audience is too segmented and
100%.
playing other stuff. Like, yeah, if for them to capture that audience again would be incredible. I mean, I hope it happens. It would be incredible, but I feel like it's a long shot.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they did, I just felt like when the number 2 and 3 were so big, it was just like it was. Not only were they so big, they were so big for so long. And it just feels like now people have too much ADD. Like they'll just move on to something else after 3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Except for like the core players will stay. But I mean, I still think it can be huge. I just don't see it going back to that big.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Next question is from Trevapalooza. Do you think Nintendo will add N64 games to online anytime soon? Dream is to play Diddy Kong Racing online. Well, we just kind of covered that.
Yes, I do.
Uh, yes. Answer yes.
I don't know about
Diddy Kong,
Yeah,
not sure,
yeah, I don't
but
know about that.
64, yes.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that is. I think that's next. I know people are saying GBA, but for some reason I'm thinking N64.
Yeah. Um, and then we had one more from Versace. With the addition of Banjo and Smash, Nintendo showed they're willing to go for a fan first approach. With that known, what is the most far out character that you think can get added to Smash Brothers without it being impossible? So far out, but not absurd. Pretty good question.
I don't think Master Chief is that absurd. I know that's kind of people think that's crazy, but I don't think it's that absurd. I mean, they have like all the top characters, and they've been playing nice with Microsoft. So I don't know. I
Yeah,
think that's pretty crazy, and I'm not expecting it, but I don't think it's impossible.
I 100% agree. I think a lot of people think that Steve from Minecraft getting in canceled out Master Chief as like a Microsoft rep, but I mean, why is there a limit? Why can't there be two Microsoft reps? I don't know. Yeah, adding Master Chief is pretty far out there. I mean, he did just get into Fortnite like a couple months ago. Master Chief was in Fortnite, so um, seeing him in Smash Brothers is not that far out of the question, but it is also pretty absurd to think about Master Chief fighting Mario and Luigi
with a bunch of guns.
the bunch of guns.
He'll probably have the sword, beam sword, or whatever it's called.
Actually, we had another the energy sword.
Yeah.
We had another tweet from somebody saying, I have a weird feeling that Porky from Earthbound is going to be the last character revealed for Smash. So I am not a Earthbound head like some other people, but I have nothing against it. It's just I never really got into it when I was young, so it was hard to get back into it as an adult because I had no nostalgia for it. But Porky from Earthbound, that would be pretty wild. Like, I don't know.
It'd be really random. I think the fact that Nessa's in there and Lucas,
yeah.
I mean, it'd be considering it was just one, like Earthbound was just one game. I kind of don't see them doing a third, but that'd be sweet.
Yeah. I really just wanted to put Reggie in.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. That would be the far out one that I don't expect, but God, that would be amazing.
Just put Reggie in there.
When he gets the Super Smash, he's my body is ready.
Yeah.
It explodes with money.
With money.
Explodes and money hits everyone.
I can't think. I mean, people think Ryu Hayabusa, however, Ninja Gaiden as a.
I think that's pretty realistic.
Crash Bandicoot. I don't know. Like it could come from anywhere. I think Piranha Plant getting in was one of the coolest things they ever did because it was really out of left field.
Yeah,
and nobody expected that at all. So like maybe some other obscure Nintendo like
Slippy,
well known, Slippy Toad. Slippy Toad, maybe the Deku Tree from Ocarina of Time. Amazing.
Yeah,
something crazy like that.
I'm
Hetsu.
I'm pretty surprised they haven't done the champions from Breath of the Wild. I kind of thought that was going to be one of the DLCs, which still could be.
Yeah, still could be. 2 spots left. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening very much. Oh, my dog's playing with the squeaky toy here.
Nice.
So, my name is Jason.
This is Alex.
And thank you for listening to Good Morning Games. Have a great day.
We'll see ya.
See ya.
See ya.